right outside Detroit. About to go to sleep, trying to get an early night's sleep. Have to be at one of the hotels close to one of our clients in the morning to meet up with the rest of the team. So just got through eating at J. Alexander. Worked out once I got here, did a little work. But today was interesting. On the way to the airport, I stopped to pass out some flyers for the business. And the first place I stopped was a boutique store with a middle-aged woman running the store. There's no one in there, but she didn't have many Facebook followers. She said she did Instagram herself, but she seemed decently interested. It might take a few more times of me stopping through to kind of, push her towards signing up. But she was nice. Gave it to her and stopped at this arcade game place, which is really just a gambling establishment. I don't really know what the rules are around social media marketing for gambling establishments, but if he comes through, that'd be something I need to look up. But the most interesting thing that happened was that I went right next door after the arcade game place, and it was a shorter black lady from Liberia, and she owned a beauty supply store. And we started talking and whatnot. She didn't seem too interested. She was kind of on the phone. But the more and more we started talking, and I started explaining to her what the deal was, because she didn't have a website, she didn't have any social media. But what she said she did have is that she used herself to go through friends and family and used her personal brand to kind of sell product. But she mentioned she was thinking about selling the store and going back to Liberia. And then after I kind of said my spiel, we started getting to know each other a little bit. And she started showing me products. I felt like she was trying to sell me. She's like, "Oh, put this cream on. Great cream." She had her own cream product. She was showing me some shoes she had made. Her lip balm. She started putting cologne on me. I'm like, "Am I here to sell you, or are you selling me? What's the deal here?" But after all that, we started getting deep, like into some serious stuff. She started asking me about like my life, my relationships, and then she's like, I'm always an optimistic person, and no one knows how bad things can get. She talked about Liberia going through a 15-year civil war, but it's kind of ending now, and people were complaining about elections actually happening today or yesterday there. But the whole point I'm getting at is she started her story off by saying, "I almost had my head chopped off." The way she described it was she had her head on a chopping block in Liberia because during the Civil War that she survived through, the towns would just be raided, women would be raped, murdered, the men were murdered. She said her grandfather was chopped up into little pieces, that they were eventually captured and held into a certain area. There's some, obviously if there's a lot of men and women, things are going to happen. And she said there was like a group of 20 of them. They tried to escape at night during the dark, so they had to like keep grabbing sticks so that they could get through the woods, because there's only one person with a flashlight that could lead the way. We don't think about that. We have enough lights here. We don't realize that it gets pitch dark at night. And she said she was separated from her mother for 5 years, that she's now reunited with. And she was obviously a Christian. She kept expressing that and or giving thanks to God. I don't know if she was a Christian, but she was giving thanks to God. And I just thought it was extremely interesting that she was so optimistic, and she explained that every day she has a smile on her face. And it's just like, we do have it so well, and the little things we complain about, we have to realize it could be so much worse, that we should be thankful for what we have, and that we're walking earth. Like, the chances that we were, for one, born a human, born in America during the technological age, like the chances of us being here right now, we have to take advantage of it. And that's what I want to do. Take full advantage of all the tools that you have. No complaining. Grind every day. Try to get what you want. And for me, the only reason I want to get those things is so that I can give back. I can give back now, and I completely agree with that. But I think I could give back much more the more successful I become. I mean, just look at the Gates Foundation, for instance. Just that alone probably accounts for the majority of the goodwill going on in this country. If more people follow that trend, we could solve many more problems. And so, back to the story, she owned a business in America. She has 2 kids that seem to be doing very well. The reason she said she wanted to go back to Liberia was because she thought things were getting too crazy in America, which should say something, that you come from a civil war, almost had your head chopped off, that you want to leave America. She said that once they got back to the village after the Civil War kind of died down, that they had to pull dead bodies out of her house, and that there were just decapitated heads just hanging out in front of her house that she looked at until the skin kind of died away and it was just the skull that was left over. But her point in the whole story, the point was that even though she went through that, she has the choice of who she wants to be as an adult. She can choose to let those situations hold her back and affect her personality or behavior, or she could realize that happened in the past. It makes her a stronger person, and that she's grateful for what she has now, and not to let those things affect her or change her behavior in any way. And I always say this, you can learn from literally anyone, and that's the power of communicating and talking with people in person or online. And she's a very captivating, compelling person, and I know that she's going to do great things and continue to do that. That's only the 4th business I've stopped in. Who knows if it'll be a sell or not, but the experience and just meeting someone like that was very eye-opening and something I'll always remember. So, interesting day. Ready to wind down for an early meeting in the morning. I think the meeting is like 5 hours. It's like 10 to 3. And then back on the plane to Charlotte tomorrow. So, I'm out. Everyone get some rest. We'll grind tomorrow. Bye-bye.